Hello again to all of our loyal listeners. My name is Priscilla.
And my name is Jessie.
And welcome to another episode of
Nena's Hangout. Yay! We all know that one friend who's always on the go, constantly busy, juggling big ideas and countless projects. You practically need to book an appointment just to grab brunch with them. They're a hustler, an entrepreneur, and you can't help but wonder, how do they manage it all? We've got the same 24 hours, but they seem to make it work on another level. Today, we're diving into the world of creative entrepreneurship and what it truly takes to bring those big ideas to life. Because success isn't just a dream, it's a relentless pursuit. Let's explore the reality of building a business from the ground up, where creativity meets strategy.
Today's guest, like we said, is Carlos Hernandez, the founder of BCC and Company. Carlos has spent over 15 years honing his craft as a dancer with more than 7 years of professional experience. He's performed with the Dallas Cowboys Rhythm and Blues dancers and the Dallas Mavericks D-Town crew, specializing in Latin styles, hip-hop, and jazz funk. His impressive resume includes credits with MTV Tres, opening act for Nicky Jam's concert, dancer for La Cruz, World of Dance, and many more. We're thrilled to have him share his journey of blending dance, creativity, and entrepreneurship with us today. Welcome to the podcast.
Yes!
Oh my goodness. What an intro.
We're still not done.
Oh, thank you guys. Well, I just want to say thank you so much for having me. It is truly an honor, and I am so freaking proud of y'all and for what you're doing. Like, this is the beginning of this podcast that is gonna go so well and it's gonna do so good. And
thank you.
I can't wait.
Yes.
It's
Amen.
an honor to have y'all think of me to be a part of it. First of all, it's my first podcast, so
Yes.
First of
so-
But we're gonna
so
get
excited.
to meet Carlos on a personal level today.
period.
Well, before we start diving into the actual questions, can you tell us more about BCC and Company? So,
Yes.
what does BCC stand for?
So BCC was created probably like about 5 years ago, I will say. I don't have an exact date. I'm
Yes.
so bad at keeping track with the dates. I was just brainstorming and thinking about a name that could go with everything, or a logo. Like, if I were to do a shirt, would that resonate with the shirt? If I were to come out with the studio, can you see that name in the studio? If I were to create a dance, something that is not only for like dancing wise. So, because you just never know, you want it to actually be something that stands and represents everything.
Yes.
Like
That-
a brand.
Like brand wise. So BCC stands for Baila con Carlos, and I chose that because at that time when I created that, there was like hashtags going on, and like a lot of choreographers were creating their own like hashtags, so they could keep track of all the dance videos of anyone that was posting on social media. And I started with Baila con Carlos, and then I took the B of
Baila.
Baila, the C of
Con.
Con, and then the C of Carlos, and then try to create a logo myself. And I didn't want it to be so dramatic. I wanted it to be something basic, again, like
Something
just because-
clean, something
basic, and again, like in case I were to ever create like a clothing brand, for that logo to be on there.
Yes, and you have. You have
Yes.
created that clothing brand.
Yes.
And you know what? You were already manifesting because you didn't think small. You dreamt big. You know,
Yes.
like
Yes.
you
I
started
try to brainstorm, Google, TikTok ideas, and also like just listen to podcasts of other people to where I learn something from it. And again, like business wise, because you just don't want to ever make a mistake and
yeah.
You
What's
did your research.
have someone
Yeah.
sue you for any kind of reason.
That is true. Yes.
Yes.
What's your favorite podcast?
Nena's
Nena's
Hangout.
Hangout?
Oh my god, good answer.
Do I have one? It's just celebrity podcast. Like if I have like a famous person that I like and I want to know more about their life, like I just
Yes.
go and listen to their podcast.
Okay, so what was the moment that made you decide to pursue your passion seriously, to pursue BCC? What were the first steps you took to establish your creative business?
I think it all started with young Carlos. I think I've always dreamt of being someone, I wouldn't say important because I've always thought of myself important. I would say more of like creating something that could get me to where I wanted to be, which is in front of the cameras, performing, showcasing something that I'm very passionate about and something that I love, that it's dance. And just being in front of a camera just like fills me up. Yes.
And you're great at it.
Thank you. Yeah, I think I actually started this dream by thinking I could sing.
Oh wow! Wait, what?
I was like, when I grow up, I want to be a famous singer.
Yeah.
You know, who could dance.
Yes.
And just put both together. And then, you know, dance popped up and it kind of
It became
started. Yeah, it became something.
your thing. Yes.
Yeah.
And it started in high school. I was watching some performers at a pep rally. And again, I've always loved dance, but never thought that I could do it, or never thought that I could be on a stage, any kind of stage, because I was the most shyest person you could ever met or meet.
Really?
I was so shy, so shy. Like my whole high school journey, Carlos would not say one single word. I was so shy that I would literally, like, if someone made me nervous, I would walk around the other way just so I wouldn't
bump into them
because that's how shy I was. I was
Oh
like,
my
I don't want them to look at me.
goodness.
Yes. And I think it started like in my junior year. There was like a step team.
Yes.
At that time, that just caught my attention. I was
Yeah.
like, that's different. They're stumping, they're clapping. You could see their passion in their, like, in the way they perform. And I was like, I want to do that. I want to do that. Even though there was no one there that represented me.
Yes. Oh,
Yes.
I
Love that.
And then I happened to hear about auditions my senior year, and I tried out and I went for it.
Oh my
Yes.
god.
The
I
shy
tried out.
kid in
The
class.
I
shy,
was gonna
yeah, the
say.
shy kid came out, and I was like, I'm just gonna do it. Like, what do I have to lose? I tried out and I made the team.
Yes.
Oh my god, look at
That
that.
was the start of everything.
That was the start of also me being more passionate about something that was not folklorico or salsa or bachata or
Yes,
merengue or
yes.
cumbia, something that was out of my comfort zone, and a music that I wasn't very
Familiar with?
not familiar with, but like you didn't grow up listening to hip hop
Yes.
or especially me, because
Yes.
I'm from Mexican culture.
Yes. That's amazing to hear your journey from being the shy kid in class to making it to the team, then making it to pro teams. Like that was such an impressive journey. You have an impressive resume. But one thing that I am wondering is, what was the transition to becoming an instructor? Because we have a lot of dancers, but to become an instructor, I feel like there needs to be like something within you that wants to teach.
I have always had a creative mind, and once I started getting more into the professional dance teams and dance career, I will like just listen to the music and just start creating out of nowhere, and I'm like, I love this. I will perform it in the room, or I will show it to my cousins, or I will show it to my friends, and just perform at a quinceañera or perform at each other's birthdays. And ever since then, like I started it. Like I started teaching, and then I was like, well, maybe after I'm done professionally, I'm gonna do my own dance class, because I also wanna dance something that I'm creating and something that I'm passionate, which is Latin music.
Yes. Yes.
So
Because sometimes I feel like there's lack of representation.
Right.
Yes. And it's so beautiful to see like reggaeton or the fusion of dances, and you being one of the leaders in the community to do that. Like, that's amazing. I don't think I would have stayed in dance if I wouldn't have found my home with you.
Oh, thank you. It's crazy to hear those kind of things, because at that time when you're doing something like that or teaching, like you don't see someone thinking what you just said.
Yeah.
Like all I see is just, personally, I just see someone doing what they love, which is dance and teach and create and perform. And no matter where you do it, just do it, because that's something that you love. So I don't think about like how people see me, which It's crazy to hear from
Really?
you to say what you just said, because I'm like, that is crazy. Like, I did started this, one of the first Latin teachers here in Dallas, Texas, that started teaching a style that was never taught here. It was always like jazz funk, ballet, hip hop, and the Latin community wasn't there yet when I started teaching.
Yes.
So knowing that now it's one of the biggest markets,
And it's a growing,
crazy.
for sure. Like, you're literally, like she said, one of the
Crazy.
leaders, one of the main ones that I think anyone can think of. And, like, your name pops
Whoa.
up whenever
Yes.
they're like, oh, you already are leaving your mark.
Yes. You have a big
Thank you.
legacy.
Thank
Yes.
you.
And I hope you know the big impact that you've made in a lot of people. At least with you, I started my dance journey. Like, your dance classes were my first classes ever.
That means a lot. And I think now where I'm at, now I do think, like, whenever I'm teaching or doing something, like, I tell myself, like, what would Carlos like to hear? What would Carlos like to know? What would Carlos appreciate knowing from someone that had no experience, just like the students that I do get? Like, what would benefit them that I think would benefit me whenever I started dancing? So I think that kind of helps and kind of guide me to be a better teacher in a way.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like healing your inner child through
Yeah,
your craft.
exactly.
Yes. Yes. Because at that time, like you said, there was not much of what we do now that I could have at the time learned from anyone else.
You're the role model that you wish you had.
I try.
Yes.
I try.
And you are.
You are.
Having a role model is like such a big thing. When you don't find those people, you tend to get lost. Or there's so much talent that it's untapped because there's no mentorship, because there's no like someone to guide them. But when I look at your class and I look at all the Latinas, I'm like, we're here because you created that space.
Yeah.
Because you took that
First step. Like,
Yes.
you broke out of that fear. Like you said, that shy kid. Look at everything that you're doing. Like, we wouldn't have known each other if it wasn't for your classes. Like,
Yes.
Nena's Hangout
That's
wouldn't be
crazy.
happening. Like, if it
Yes.
wasn't because of you.
Aw.
And like I said, not just to us, like, you're impacting a lot of people's lives.
Yes.
And you have helped people dream bigger.
you have.
I don't even know what to say after that. That is, like, again, when someone else tells you those things, it's just crazy to
Yes.
think about. Like, I've never have thought of those things before, you know, until someone tells you. And I am someone who is always proud of himself.
Yes.
Like, with everything and anything that I do, whether I make the right choice or the wrong choice, the right choice or the wrong choice, will always be proud of myself, because we already have so many like negative and hard critics in the outside world that
Yeah.
if you're not cheering up yourself, then it's a done story with you, you know, because it's hard.
Yes.
It's hard. So
Yes.
you always have to like pat yourself in the back and be like, I got this, or I made the wrong choice, but guess what? I learned from it, and I'm gonna
Do better.
Yeah, do better.
Yes.
Yes. You don't think what other people see from what you're doing, and I guess I don't see it like that because I'm not expecting anything in return. Like, I just, if I am there on a dance class on a Thursday, dancing next to everyone there and just having a good time, then I mean, that's all I need.
Yeah.
That's literally all I need. Just to be there on a Thursday. And there's so many times that I'm like, cancel. So many bad times, bad days, you know,
Yes.
when you feel down or when you don't feel creative, and again, doubt, when you feel like your choreography is not good enough, and when you start comparing yourself to other choreographers, amazing choreographers here in Dallas, that there's so many classes, and then you just start getting in your head and you're like, I don't want to do it. Like, I just, it's hard.
Yes.
Aw, you know, and I feel so grateful because you literally come up with 2 new choreographies every week.
I
and
try,
I swear,
yes.
your classes, like Thursdays, sometimes feel like much better than being in a club. Like, you dance so much more, and you're sober, obviously. What's it called? And not just for like Thursdays, but I know that you also do quinceañeras on the sides. You also have other dance projects like carne asada, and I know that don't you do the whole thing yourself, like the choreography?
Yes.
Exactly.
Anytime that I do want to cancel, or I am sad, or about a situation that happened that I just don't feel like getting there, walking out it's just like a different feeling to where like I'm so glad I didn't cancel. I'm so glad I showed up. I'm so glad I danced, because Thursdays it's everything.
Yes.
Yeah. After I walk out of dance class, I'm like, oh, thank God, like I danced. Thank God that I was here. Thank God that I did something that I loved, and that I made one of y'all smile or happy for doing it with me. You know?
Yes.
So that's the best part.
So, what strategies have you found most effective for marketing your business? You know, what made BCC go from a few students to now an average of 15, 20, maybe more? And what role does networking play in your business?
I think what has helped me out is just being consistent with everything that comes with posting on social media, because social media is everything nowadays. Like that's the way to promote a business, because everyone is on social media. And just finding ideas on how to catch somebody's attention, to create a video for them to be like, oh, let me watch that, and then put details there of what you teach, and
Like how much, make it as accessible as possible to people.
Yes,
Like, okay, this is my cash app, this is the location,
And
this
to
is
basic questions.
yeah, in
Yes.
one post, because no one has time to be looking at
Right.
this link and that
Right.
link.
Yeah.
It's all in one post, concise, ready to go.
Yes, that's something that I also do think about, because I always get questions from people like, how do I reserve? Where do I reserve? When is the class? At what time is the class? And I'm like, everything is
In the post.
on the post,
Yes.
in the description of the post. So I try to make it as easy as possible for people that are trying to take class or finding out about my class to
Yeah.
to make it easy.
But what
Yeah.
about networking and collaborations? How do you approach that? Do you think it has helped?
I think my networking right now is just all through social media when it comes down to my classes. I don't know why I'm the worst networking person, like when it comes down to talking to another person like face to face about it. Like I don't like to talk about dancing, which is weird. About not dancing but business dancing, or what I do if I'm having like a regular conversation at a party or at the club.
Oh, yeah.
Like whenever I'm out having dinner or something, like I don't want to talk about dancing, even though it's important, because you just don't know if that person that you're talking to is looking for a choreographer or is looking for performers. So
Yeah, but sometimes opportunities come up like themselves, you know,
Right.
through making just connections with people.
right, which again, I'm pretty bad at that. Like it's not that I don't like it, it's just I feel like if someone wants me, like they will reach out to me. I'm the kind of person that is always also brainstorming, like what can I do different to change it up, because my class is every Thursday, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Every Thursday, and even though like you said it's different choreography, like I still want to bring always something different,
Something
to
new.
keep you engaged and to
Yeah.
keep you like interested and like, ooh, what is he gonna do now? Like on the like
Keep you on your toes.
on your toes. Yes. And I'm also the person that if I plan for too long, it won't happen. So
okay.
if I think about it, I have to tell myself, do it.
Okay.
You gotta do it right there and then. So it's not like it took me like months to plan it or anything.
You take action.
To dive into a more serious topic, how do you handle the financial aspects, like the budgeting of your business and brand? Because I know you also have a clothing brand. How did you monetize on something that you loved?
We're trying this non-alcoholic Corona. Corona sponsor us too.
Yeah.
And he has the Corona flavor.
It does. I think it's better than the actual Corona.
Oh my god. So like I said, I created BCC and Company 4 years ago. When I started, I literally had 3 students and I was okay with it. I think I've always been okay with the turnout of how many people are gonna show up, because I'm doing it for the passion, or I was at that time. Right now, of course, since I am making a profit, now I see it more of a
Yeah.
business.
También.
But in the beginning, it was more like creating and doing something that I love, that I didn't even care if I wasn't making money, because the
Yeah.
3 students that showed up, I'm like, as long as they're paying for, like, that covers for the studio fee, like, I'm okay with it. I could do this for the rest of my life. Yes.
Yeah.
Like, I could just,
That's how you know you love what you're doing.
yeah,
Something,
and, and it was a constant 3 to 5 people. And when I tell you, I have the most supportive, loyal friends, dancers that I could ever have. It's real. Like, I'm so grateful for the support system that I have, because the people that do come around, they're so loyal to me.
Yes.
And
you have no idea.
It truly means a lot. So going back to that, the way I started promoting myself and creating and having different ideas and things that I could do different from other people that were teaching at the time, to engage more students to come in. And again, social media, posting, teaching. And it eventually started growing. And I was like, okay, well, once I saw that, and I saw that people enjoyed what I did, that's when I'm like, okay, well, now that I have the students, now how can I also make a profit? Because it is a lot of the time,
Energy.
And we all gotta
and
pay our bills,
it's not
you
only
know?
the time that you're teaching that you're having to make up for. It's also the time that you spend creating, the time that you take to rehearse or to go over something, a dance, to get it right. And just creating itself, sometimes it could be 30 minutes depending on how I feel, or sometimes it could be like 2 hours or 2 days, because it's,
Oh my God.
it's
Yeah, if you're
It's
like
just on
in
the
a blog
mood.
or something,
Yes.
or if there's a lot going on in life, like,
yes.
you know.
I think now I know like the worth as an artist by brainstorming and thinking like how much time it's gonna take for me to be involved in this. I think it's mostly time. I think as an artist or a choreographer, as a dancer, we want to be paid for our time.
Yeah.
Because you're creating something too. For me, like right now, I'm more of like how much time it's gonna take me to do this. And away from something that I could be making money of,
Yes.
to do this,
Yes.
and then base it off of that to create an amount for the
Yeah.
customer.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like that.
Your time is valuable at the end of the day.
It is.
Yes.
Time is money.
Yes.
I'm just kidding. But it is. Time
It
is money.
is, it
And
is.
like potentially losing money, I have never really thought of it of like that. Like it's always been like, again, just doing what I love. Because there's been a lot of times where I don't make money and I'm okay with it, you know, because I'm doing what I love. And it happens a lot, especially when you're starting something new.
Yes.
Something that you've never done before, and something that you have to invest money to create something. Because I'm also the person that if I'm gonna come out with something, like I want it to be legit, you know, I want it to be good.
Well
like,
done.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
If you're
Yes.
gonna do something, you're gonna do it right.
Right.
Yes.
Yes. And I think that goes off with you not making money, because you're investing either with lights or a good speaker, or it could be a nice outfit, because outfit is also like something that involves a performer.
sells,
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I base my prices on how much I would pay to take somebody's class,
Okay.
because also life is rough and people live paycheck to paycheck. And again, dance is something I think that we all need. Like, it's just good for the heart. That I wouldn't want someone to say, I don't have enough money to take your class, for money to be the reason for them to not come to class and do something that they love.
Yes.
Aw.
Like,
I
of
love
course,
that.
now that I do make money off of it, it's like a plus, extra
Yeah.
money that I do need,
Yes.
you know, because my 8 to 5 is not enough. And another reason of me being okay not making money is because I do have my 8 to 5, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm okay with investing. I'm okay with not making enough, because I have my 8 to 5 to fall back on in case.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know, how did you overcome like challenges, like financial or of any kind? How did you stay motivating during those challenging times?
I mean, there's really not much I can say about that.
Okay, we can skip that one.
I mean, I do have challenges, but every challenge that I do get is not a challenge for me. It's just the way you want to see things, you know?
It's about perspective and
Yeah.
mindset.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's about perspective and mindset, and knowing that you can overcome whatever comes your way. And if it
Yeah.
doesn't work out, it was meant for it not to work out.
Yes.
So you take a very
I love
holistic
that.
approach,
Yeah.
a very like, okay.
Like, it's part of the journey.
Yes.
Holistic.
Yes.
That sounds very, very demure.
I love it.
Yeah, I feel like I've always been someone that's very positive about everything. The negative and I mean positive about the positive and positive about the negative. Like I never dwell on something too much.
Okay.
Like
Yes.
That's really good.
that's didn't work out. All right.
Next.
Let's move on.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Yes.
next.
Yes. Let's move on and figure out what went wrong or what could have gone right and what could have you done different
Yes,
about
yes.
the situation or
Wow.
about anything and then
Yes.
just
Yeah.
That's the mind of a leader right there.
Yes,
Ladies and
uh-huh.
gentlemen. Yes.
A fearless leader.
Yes.
oh, thank you.
Yeah, with the scene always changing, always new choreographers around the corner, how do you stay updated with the trends in your industry, and how do you stay inspired to continue to innovate in your field?
I think I stay inspired by stories. People's stories, real life stories.
Yeah, like from your students, from like choreographers.
From my students
like,
or from stories that I hear online that I don't know that are sad, not in a bad way, or
Yeah.
just hearing that someone came from a place that they had no chances to make it out from that place, and then for them to now be huge and famous, like those things inspire me because I'm like
Yeah.
I put myself in their shoes. I'm like that could be me. That could be me.
yeah.
Yes.
And I think
And it
that's what
is.
keeps me inspired and a goal, having a goal. Like, where do you want to get to with what you're doing? Sorry, I just spit.
It's okay.
Like, where do you want to get to? Like, what's my goal as a dancer? And what do I want to create? And how can I impact my family wise, you know? Because parents do get older too. And
Yeah.
it requires money to
retire
eventually
them.
Yeah,
to eventually help them out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now I think about like how can I now make money from dance and be able to provide for them later on when they're not able or capable to
Yeah, like
continue
help them
to
out.
work.
Yeah.
So I think that's another like way of motivation and things that I think about.
And you know what? Because you have good intentions, good and pure intentions, like I know that you're only gonna get bigger, and you will
Yes.
be able to retire your parents.
I hope so.
I declare.
You will.
They've done so much for me, but you know, like my parents, they're supportive now. But whenever I started, or whenever they knew that I love dancing, it was always like, you better finish your school or you graduate. Like, ponte a estudiar.
You bring up a really good point because I feel like Mexican, well, all three of us are Mexican listeners. I think Mexican,
Representing.
Yes.
I think Mexican parents can be very traditional. They only see one way to success. They're
Right.
not open when it comes to taking non-conventional approaches.
Right. Yeah, because they were like, dancing is not going to get you nowhere. Dancing is not a career.
Yes.
And I had to go out of my way and not ask them for the money to be able to do that and learn and grow from that. Because again, taking class, it's money.
It's expensive.
And I was like, what is a way for me to do what they want me to do, which is graduate and have a job, a full-time grown-up
Yes.
job, and continue to dance, even though they think it might not be or can be a career.
Yes.
Yeah. So how did you handle that like criticism and like the negative energy from others and maybe from yourself?
And your
Like,
family, potentially.
Yeah, like how did you grow out of that? How did you not let that hold you back?
Pues es que me vale todo lo que diga la gente.
I love it.
I think it's just
Wait, what's your sign?
Sagittarius.
I'm a Sagittarius.
God,
Okay, but early
no
Sagittarius or later Sagittarius?
Early.
Oh my gosh, me too.
What day?
The third.
The 9th.
Oh my god, I'm telling you, I get along with Sagittarius really
I
well.
think, yeah, ever since I was young, even though like when I said up in the beginning, like I've always been so shy. Like I never like spoke up for myself. Like I always had a friend that would defend me for any kind of situation, whether bullying or young
Yeah.
kid stuff. And as soon as I graduated high school, I guess life just came at me, and I'm like, why do I care what people think?
Yeah.
Like, why is that gonna stop me from living up my life.
Exactly. Yeah.
And ever since I had that mentality of who cares what people think, of course you still get in your head about it because you want people to like you want people to be like, oh my god, like I want to be his friend. But the people that are around you because of who you are and because they love who you are.
Exactly. They choose to be in your life.
So it's just internal way of thinking and the mentality and really not caring because life is too short.
Exactly.
To hold yourself back and not do something that you love or anything that you think is right for you because of what people think.
Yeah.
I heard this quote once. Today, right now, is the youngest you'll ever be. So, hay que aprovecharlo.
Yes, that's right. I was telling my students yesterday in class to look at themselves in the mirror and remember that the most influential person in your life is yourself. You have to talk to yourself. You have to tell yourself that you're good enough. You have to pat yourself on the back. You have to tell yourself that you're in the right path or that you'll get there. Of course, like with all of that comes hard work. Like you have to put in the work and try to be better in whatever you want to get better at.
Yes.
It doesn't matter if it's dancing, it doesn't matter if it's singing, it's
School, whatever it is.
There always has to be work that needs to be put in order for you to be better. But again, the most influential person in your life is yourself because you have to tell yourself those things in order for them to
You have to believe in
be better.
them, too.
What is the nearby future for you? Any cool events, projects? Do you have different goals now that you want to share?
My goal is to keep creating and to eventually come out with a legit and official clothing line. Because right now, everything that I do that is my merch is handmade because everything that I do sell is tie-dye and that requires
so much manual labor.
That requires for you to paint basically. You know, like you paint the pants or you bleach the pants and the printing or the ironing. So everything with the merch that I have or do or sell is handmade. So I want to do something that's out of the tie-dye route and be something more that is solid and cute design that that anybody can wear.
Yeah.
I think that's an amazing goal because I've had a few people, like, I just walk around with, like, my VCC merch, and they're like, where did you get those? And I'm like, oh, like, let me share the link, you know, to your page. But I think I do see it growth. It has so much potential for growth.
And that's another goal. Right now, like, I've been staying away from selling online just because it is a huge process in creating a website and being able to sell through there and having an LLC and paying taxes. So right now, that's why I'm only selling in my class because it's easy for me at the moment with everything else that I have going on with my life, like work 8 to 5 and then still dancing and doing gigs here and there.
And that way it drives people to go to your class, like, oh, you can only get it at his class.
There you go.
I love that the merch that you do, like, they I feel like you choose one, you do designs that go with everything. Like my black BCC pants, like, I always get asked without a doubt, where'd you get those?
Yeah, and when I create something like color-wise or design-wise, I think about what I would like to wear in a dance class or what I would like to wear flying to Cancun. That's cozy and that's representing Dallas or something because you can also wear the comfy sweatpants and a hoodie because who doesn't like sweatpants and hoodie?
Exactly.
And they look great when you're dancing. They're very swaggy, goes with the style that I teach. So I think whenever I do come up with something to create, like a crop top or anything, I picture myself in that.
Yeah, some of the outfits from like the carne asada, they are so
oh my god, yes. They are literally to die for. I would literally buy them just to wear on a night out, honestly.
Yeah, and the creative like the process for that, it's also like thinking about like how, like, what would I like to see myself in, you know? And I've always created the outfits. I think I love looking like a group. Like, I love when it's something cohesive, same colors, but I also like to showcase dancers' individuality by adding something different to their outfit. Like they could be a choker, or it could be like something bedazzled. It can be something different, but it's the same.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
So yeah, I created the outfits for Carne Asada's performance, and people love them, and
Oh my
I had a
God,
time
they're so good.
doing them. Like it was the first time I bedazzled pants, and it worked out.
No,
They
that
look
looks
amazing.
They
so
could be
good.
better, but
They
you
were
know,
amazing.
It's
amazing.
Yes.
Yes.
they could be better, but
Going back with the subject of your parents, when was the turning point where they were like, okay, ya veo que sí, we accept you and we want you to dance?
it was when I made the Cowboys. Yeah. They're like, okay, well, I guess it is something that he could do. And I don't think it was like because of the Cowboys, but because they saw that I was getting paid. You know,
What it
not a
could
lot of
lead
money
to.
because
But
Yes.
like they saw what it could lead to. Like this is just the beginning of something.
They saw
and-
that you had talent.
And right, and
Yeah.
I think it's always been to not have a job. Like you can still do it and make money off of it, and I'm glad it's going well. But you gotta keep your job, like,
Yeah.
and also like I've always been so independent. Like literally since I was 14, I started working, and I was already living by myself at the time, and I was like, well, in order for me to continue to dance, because yes, you are kind of making money, but that money goes back to
the business.
to the gas
Oh.
to make it to rehearsals. The business. No, it goes back to them because you gotta use gas to get there and everything else that you need for rehearsal. Even though like they provide with a few items and stuff, but you know, a lot of the things that you require, it's money. You
Yes,
know?
yes, yeah.
But yeah, I think they started supporting more, and they knew that it could get somewhere whenever I started dancing for the Cowboys professionally eventually.
Yeah.
But they knew I've always had a passion for dance, and
Yes.
I think again, like coming from a culture and knowing that, I don't know, like they think that can be a job, and it can be. You just also like have to put in the work, especially
Yeah,
because
for
it's I feel like it's a little harder to
Yeah.
make money from dancing than if
Yeah.
you were to work like in a company.
Yes, it is. It is. They don't. It's because they don't want to see their kids failing. You know, they want them to have financial security. As well, my parents, they immigrated here to give me a better life, and it's also like in a way repaying them. So I see what you're saying, and I understand where that mentality comes from. But I'm so happy that it worked out for you, and that your parents and your family see you and admire you and support you.
Yes.
Because that's beautiful. And
Yeah, I
all
think so
parents should do
too.
that.
Yeah, all parents should do that, but you know, sometimes it takes time.
It takes time.
For them to get used to it, but
Yes.
yeah, it's been a blessing now.
Yes.
And it makes me happy to see my parents now like in front of the stage when I do have like an event, and for them to see me perform, because again, like I was shy, like I would never and have never danced in front of my parents before I was in a professional team. Like I was the shyest person
Yeah. Oh my
that you
God,
could ever meet. Like I would do it outside of my parent, like outside of my house,
Yes.
but never danced in front of them because I was shy.
Yeah,
I was shy,
yeah.
and I guess I was scared for them to think I was crazy. I don't know, for them to think that I look crazy. I don't know, you know.
Yes.
Yeah.
It goes.
Pero también los padres mexicanos a veces se pasan con sus comentarios.
Exactly. Like their way of being funny is like, you're not being funny, dude. You're just being rude.
Has your identity provided additional challenges, like being a male dancer in a predominantly female field, being part of the queer community, Latinx? How has that intersectionalities like affected your journey?
I think in the beginning, once I started dancing, it was actually more of a positive effect, because again, when you're trying out for a professional team, they're not only looking for a dancer, they're looking for someone who can represent. And at that time, there was not very, like you said, male dancers, Hispanic. So that kind of helped me out to be able to provide that.
Yeah.
That something that was a different representation to the team,
Yes.
because like you said, it was all female and
Predominantly white.
yes.
Yeah.
Being Hispanic, a male Hispanic for the beginning of my dance career as a professional dancer was a positive thing. I think the negative thing about it was being a part of the LGBTQ community.
Oh, really?
Because they want you to be yourself, but they also want you to hold back on certain things, like being too feminine. Because I feel like at that time, there was, I don't know, it was like
stigma, like it was seen as like bad to do so.
Right, to be so feminine, or you just couldn't be fully yourself at that time. I felt like, at least that's what what I felt. I feel like they wanted, if they hired a male to dance, that's because they expected a male
with masculine energy.
With masculine,
Yes.
Wow. And how did you? I feel like
even though there was times that I could showcase like my sass and stuff, but still, like whenever I just felt like whenever you had to speak to someone, you couldn't be. I don't know. You had to like be like very professional and very like fully myself.
Do you think now that you have your own business, your own classes, do you have the power to be yourself? Authentically, like 100%.
Yes.
And do you think you provide a safe space for others to be themselves as well?
Absolutely.
And that's the change we want to see.
Yes. Like everyone is welcome, and everyone can be them. Like everyone's welcome, and you should always be yourself.
Yes.
Always.
Exactly.
And come to dance class.
Yes, oh my god, if you have not had the chance to check out Carlos's classes on Thursdays, you have to show up at least once. I promise you, like I said earlier, they're better than the club. You will not regret it, because not only do you have fun while you learn a new and fun choreo, but you're also pushing yourself to grow, because you will grow after taking Carlos's classes.
Yes.
Don't be afraid to start. Like, I think the challenging part is making yourself go to a dance class.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Because once you start, I think you don't want to stop.
Yes. Yes.
But also, like, you have to go in with the mentality that you're not going to be the best.
Yeah.
You have to be okay with messing up. You have to be okay with being embarrassed. You have to be okay with being shy. You have to be okay with just not being your best when you take something.
Yes.
Or take a class and do something that you've never done before.
Exactly.
But again, if you love it enough, then you'll put in the work, and you're going to keep showing up, and you're going to keep doing it, and eventually you'll get to wherever you want to get. These two are true testaments.
Oh my god, thank you.
Because whenever they started, they were so crusty. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm still crusty.
They're so crusty, and now look at them. They have their own podcast, and they're amazing.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Carlos.
I'm just kidding. Y'all were never crusty.
Somos latinas. Tenemos el sazón en la sangre.
There you go.
Yes.
No, I'm going to cut that.
Yes, please. Nothing negative.
Yes. Oh,
Yay.
Yes. Oh my god, thank you so much, Carlos, again for making the time to be here. Thank you for your energy. Thank you for choosing to be here, honestly. I really, really appreciate you. And like we said earlier, like without your classes, we wouldn't have met. You have impacted not just like my dance journey, but also how I am with myself. Like I have learned to be kinder with myself through you. You know, you're a great reminder, and so I just want you to like know that. And I'm grateful for you in your classes.
Yes.
Thank you.
And for me, I think
Tell me
feel like we actually have more things in common than what I initially thought, and it's so nice to see that vulnerable side of you. And thank you so much for opening up, because sometimes it's hard to open up and talk about those hard topics. And your classes have been, well, I'm not gonna lie, it started with so much anxiety. I sometimes would drive there and like not even go, you know, like not even enter the classes. But through you, I feel like my confidence has grown, and it has also translated in other aspects of my life. And it's just wonderful, and it's beautiful to see the Latino representation, because like I said earlier, we all need a role model.
Yeah.
And
you're a great one.
Yes.
Oh,
and you are successful.
Thank you.
And give yourself credit, please. And take the praise. Take the praise.
Thank you.
Learn how to take the praise.
That's hard.
Receive
Sometimes,
it.
yes, it's hard to take the praise. And just hearing y'all say the things that you're telling me, because I don't know, I've just never seen me being that person.
You know what?
Because I have so many role models. Like, my students are my role models. My students inspire me. Like, just y'all seeing how much hard work and how much work y'all put in to the craft and to
Yes.
put yourself out there and to do something that you've never done before is inspiring to me, because I'm like, well, now I have to do what I'm preaching to them to be out of their comfort zone.
Yes.
This is out of my comfort zone. Like talking to a microphone, being on a podcast, and again, this is something that I've never done before, but I'm like, I'm gonna do it because I'm gonna become famous, and then whenever I become famous,
You're like, this is my
I'm gonna be experienced because I was here first, and then let's hang out.
Yes.
But yeah, I want to appreciate you both too
Oh.
for having me. It really means a lot. And ever since y'all started this podcast, like I was like, I hope they invite me.
Oh my god,
You were
yes,
one
you were like
in the
our
list.
top
And then
one.
time passed. I was like, maybe I don't want me there.
Oh my god, no.
It was like, I'm not ready for Carlos. Like, we're still like, oh, no,
the pressure was there for sure. Like I was
Yes.
like, I want to do well. Like I want
Right.
to, like, and we were also like aprendices. Like at the very very beginning, like we were more nervous in this. Like honestly, I'm not gonna lie. Like some tea, we drank a cup of wine, or not a cup, but like a glass of wine before
A
we
bottle
started.
of wine.
No, like our first episode, so that we could like let loose and just be like, we're fine. Like it took us like obviously months to prepare for that first
Which is
episode.
good. Like everything comes with experience.
Yes.
Yeah.
And everything comes with doing things that you've never done before
Exactly.
to learn. And what is it called? The something trial?
trial and error.
Yeah, trial and error.
Yes.
Like you have to go through those things that don't work out, because
Exactly.
that's the only way you're going to learn and
Exactly.
grow and do something that does work for you and something different.
Yes.
And that's the same thing I do with everything that I do. My
Yes.
dance classes.
And it's so
my merch.
inspiring. It's so inspiring to see someone that looks like us, with the same skin color,
Yeah.
being on stages. It heals my inner child to see that. I wish we saw more representation.
Yeah.
But we're making spaces.
Yes, we
and
are.
we're gonna pass the torch, and es una cadenita que se va
Yeah.
haciendo.
We've come a long way,
Yes.
and to be seen in that way, in that light, it's an honor.
Yes.
And yes, everywhere that I go, and anything and everything that I do, whenever I dance professionally or anywhere, like the most proudest moments when I could represent the culture, where I could represent Mexicans, because like you said, it's not very common that you get to see representation everywhere. And for them to have me there and being Mexican and being able to show my culture, and not only with the crowd or the people that are around, but with my teammates, with the people that I dance with.
Yeah.
Gotta teach them Mexican slang and sazon, and
It's beautiful. The sharing
take
of
them to the
cultures.
right place to eat tacos.
Not Taco Bell.
Not Taco Bell. Yes, not Taco Bell.
No velvet taco. I'm sorry, but no.
I've never even heard of that place.
It's different. It's different. Yeah, real street tacos. Teach them about real enchiladas, pozole, carnitas, birria. Like all of that, to be able to
you're
share
making
that.
me hungry.
Yeah, I
I'm
know.
starving.
Oh my gosh. We should go out to eat.
Excuse me. I'm literally starving.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, let's conclude this
Let's
episode.
conclude this
Okay.
episode with. Thank you so much for coming to.
Go ahead.
No,
Take it.
I will not do
That
good.
would be in the bloopers.
Yes, but this has been so helpful. Like doing this right now I'm like more comfortable, and now next time that I do have
yeah.
a podcast anywhere else, or if I'm back over here again,
Yes.
then I'll be better.
Yes.
Yes.
Porque nos trabamos como unas 20,000 veces. But it's okay.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's okay.
No one will know.
No one will know because Jess is gonna work her magic.
Yes.
Yes.
You better make us sound good.
Oh,
and
yeah.
not
She always
choppy,
does.
choppy.
Yes,
No.
don't you worry. Okay.
Thank you guys for such an amazing time. Thank you, Carlos, for sharing your story with us. It's such an honor. And stay tuned for the next episode. Thank you again. And gracias a todos. Bye.